Oh, good morning, hello, good evening, whatever time it is that you're watching this. Hello, how you going? Welcome back, or welcome to Walk It Off. Again, if this is your first one, hello. It's going to be more of a vloggy style content. As I said, I'm going to be producing a bit more of that these days. If the camera's a bit shaky, I do apologise, but I'm not using my big expensive rig. Essentially what I have right now is a small clamp with a 1/4 inch screw thread on it that connects to a small bracket which is holding my phone. So yeah, I hope you're doing well. There's someone having a walk a little bit past. There's a couple of people out here that persevere. Smashing the day, even in the rain. Anyway, I kind of wanted to talk to you guys today about what Walk It Off kind of actually really is, why I'm doing it, and what I'd like to, or where I'd like to take it in the future. So, about 5 years ago, I was not in a good place. My career had kind of come to a bit of a standstill, and this all came to a head alongside some issues in my marriage and the death of my mother. It all kind of happened all at once, and this led to me not treating myself very well. And as you can imagine, I had a lot of kind of internalized toxicity and kind of abandonment issues, I guess you'd call it. That's because my old man died when I was like about 4 years old, so I'm not really asking for anybody's sympathy with all of this. I just kind of want to explain it to you. Anyway, my mum had melanoma. Like a lot of people from that generation, she never got it checked or anything like that. Now the person coming. Actually, where I'll go a little stupid if it walks around. Anyway, yeah, as I said, my mum had melanoma. She comes from a generation that didn't really take any of that too seriously. That spread throughout her body. And I guess what was probably over the better part of 3 or 4 years, she went into a slow decline and started having seizures as the cancer got into her brain, which was a lot of late night runs to the hospital for me. Which you can imagine when you've got a young family, you're trying to pull your career back together and save your marriage, that kind of took its toll. And yeah, that led to me being in a particularly bad place. Late nights, substance abuse, and altogether not really treating myself too well. And by extension, the people around me. But there's one thing that I do truly believe in, is that you've got to solve your own problems. In the immortal words of Gary Vaynerchuk, nobody gives a fuck about your feelings. And yeah, I've always been a reasonably stoic person, I guess you'd call it. I've been very focused on what I've always been trying to do, and that's work on my art. But like I said, there's only so much a person's shoulders can carry at one time. That's no matter how tough you think you are, especially you lads. Come on. Anyway. Yeah, so where was I? Yeah, this all started to cause even more issues. If you've ever heard of the term feedback loop, it's where a cycle repeats itself, and each time that it does so, it gets either stronger or weaker. A common terminology is the snowball effect. Anyway, I started taking my own mental health and physical
Distance,
health a lot more
1 kilometer. Time, 15 minutes, 52 seconds.
And I tried psychologists, SSRIs, or antidepressants, the common ones anyway. And I tried these and I wasn't getting much help, or sure wasn't getting much result out of it. And I read a little bit about this Japanese term called Shinrin Yoku. I'm sorry if I'm saying that wrong. Or forest bathing. And it's something to do with being out in the woods among trees is really beneficial for human beings. I highly suspect that this is because we came out of the trees, and we share some kind of deep, almost symbiotic connection with them. That's just a hunch. Don't quote me on that, guys. Anyway, I started walking and seeing a shrink and taking my meds. And I did not get any progress until I started doing all three. And yeah, I thought to myself, how many of today's problems around the whole world are because people tend to double down on the worst parts of their personality and their worst behaviors. Like, it's kind of like the spoilt child syndrome. Yeah. Tell me I'm not supposed to do something, and you just become drawn to it like a moth to flame. But anyway, I kind of thought about that, and I said to myself, why don't I, for as long as I can keep it up, double down on the best parts of myself. Start taking my own mental health and physical health very seriously, and fixing things that needed to be fixed. Oh, excuse me. And yeah, I put that into practice. It was slow at first. Before you double down on the best parts of yourself, you've got to cut out the worst, or at least start putting them into a negative feedback loop. Which is the minute reduction of a cycle until it disappears. So through that, I was able to stop the substance abuse. As with that, I was trapped in what's called a dopamine cycle trap. If that's not the proper terminology, I apologise, but that's what it was. So my body was needing ever more dopamine to maintain moods, and that starts a runaway cycle where your body can never maintain that, and if you try to cut yourself off from what's enabling your dopamine rush, you are going to crash and burn. You know what I mean? Like, you're never going to be able to maintain a diet if you go from giant bags of lollies every day to none. Sugar is also something I've just cut out as well. So yeah, I was trapped in the dopamine cycle. That's not a good place to find yourself. Kind of puts you in a place where you have to be doing ever increasingly stupider shit to get your kicks. And that doesn't go any place worth going. So yeah, if you are trying to reduce any negative behavior of any kind, you have to replace it with positive behavior. If you don't replace it with something, you will replace it with something. There is No buts about that. Most people will end up just trading one toxic behavior for another. So you have to trade it for something positive. And you've got to be disciplined about that too. I was a pretty heavy smoker back in the day. And the way I quit that was replacing going outside and having a cigarette with going outside and doing 10 push-ups. Yeah, I stuck to that for a while, and now I haven't had a cigarette in, I don't know, it's been a while. Yeah, I might have one stupidly when I drink, which I don't do particularly often these days either. It's one of those things of chained bad behaviours. Steer clear of one, you can steer clear of quite a few as well. So yeah, I replace substance abuse with hiking pretty much every day, at least 5Ks or as close to it as I can get, and been slowly pushing myself further each time, until recently when I had to have some surgery on my knee. But it's getting back to full strength, and I haven't exactly had to miss out on any decent walks yet. So as you've been listening to me ramble here, this is a track called Fox Hill. It's on the back of Moriata, and I'll put a link in the description to my other video of it from the Back on Track series. So yeah, I've been thinking for a while about this, and a recent conversation has prompted me to stop caring so much about the quality of it. As the YouTuber Peter McKinnon says, don't let perfect get in the way of getting things done. Or is it done is better than perfect? Yeah, I think that's it. Because your content will slowly improve over time. So yeah, I would very much like to continue with the Back on Track series, but also start interviewing mental health professionals, whether that's either in studio or if I can get them on via Skype. Ultimately, I'd really like to get people out to come along for a hike, and then we can sit down somewhere, do the interview, be kind of like a podcast. So I really, really like the way Joe Rogan interviews people. Very casual and off the cuff, which is what I would prefer, because I mean, I don't like the dumbing down of mental health topics. I think George Carlin did a bit about how they stopped calling it shell shock and started calling it PTSD, which, while I guess it's more of a scientifically accurate terminology, I think the shell shock part kind of made it soldier specific. So I think that's probably a better term for it. I think post-traumatic stress syndrome is kind of a bit too broad. I mean, I went to a PTSD specific counsellor at first, and I don't put my life experience on the same, not even on the same scale as what our servicemen and women see and have to go through while they're on tour. And then to come home most of the time
Distance
we get
2
treated like crap as well.
kilometers. Time 29 minutes 18 seconds.
Thanks, Google. So yeah, if you know anybody that talks about mental health topics and is in that kind of field, please send them my details. I'd love to talk to them. Yeah, I think the only way forward with anybody's mental health, you start with talking about it. Because unfortunately, people that bottle their shit tend to just get really bitter, and before they know it, they've turned into the monster that they're angry at the world for. You know, they end up treating people the way that they were treated. And to be quite honest, I think the measure of a human being isn't the pain that they can put into the world, but the pain that they can take out of it. Oh, because there's enough of it. There's too much in the world already. Again, guys, I am really sorry for the shaky camera. It's also really hard to look into the camera when you're using your phone. I don't know if anybody else finds that. So yeah, if there's someone who does mental health content and you think that it would be beneficial for me to interview them, I'd love to hear from them. Love to hear from you. That said, there are an awful lot of charlatans in the mental health space. For that reason, I kind of really don't like the whole wellness thing. I mean, there's a few good actors in that, but there's also a lot of crooks. So many people that tell you what you want to hear so they can make money off you. Yeah, straight out, anybody in mental health space that uses the word quantum, run. Yeah, because most of that is just going to be pure and utter woo. Sorry, Deepak. Oh. So yeah, I'm busily creating a series of book reviews. About halfway done with the first couple of them. I got to really keep them quite short and succinct because, quite frankly, I don't want you. It shouldn't be me telling you what the book is, because I want you to go read it. And I respect the authors that make it, so I'm not going to plagiarise their material. But it's going to be impossible for me to not quote and things like that. But I don't want to just verbatim copy large slabs of their material. Yeah, the first two are going to be 12 Rules for Life by Jordan Peterson and Lost Connections by Johan Hari. Yeah, they're both good. Book will be done. It's nice to have a look at yourself, especially when you're alone talking to a camera like this. Makes you feel a whole lot less stupid. Now that I'm not getting stared down by kangaroos, I'm not sure who's scared who more. So it worked out that I can make a nifty little selfie stick out of my bracket and umbrella. It's a bit better though, doesn't it? Anyway, like I said, yeah, this is Fox Hill. It's a moderate hiking trail. It does get quite steep in little sections, but it's not too bad. It's muddy as hell at the moment though. So yeah, like I was saying about the book reviews, if there's any mental health topic books that you'd like me to review, or you think anybody else would would benefit from, post them in the comments underneath the video. I'd really appreciate that. The trouble with all this mental health stuff though is most people never get past the initial kick in the bum. They just double down on their worst behaviours, and it takes them many cycles of the feedback loop before they cotton on to what's actually happening. A lot of people don't until it's too late. Yeah, I've seen a few lives ruined by substance abuse, by running away from the problems. Unfortunately, you can't numb your way into solving anything. Because unfortunately, the more numb you get, the less self-critical you get. And while that can be a good thing, it really is. So yeah, as I was saying, I think I've said that like 20 times already. I've got like half an hour worth of me rambling today. A recent conversation that I had. Mel, thanks for calling me out. I needed that little shove. But now I'm calling you back out. Start putting your content together. So yeah, I've probably got about 10 book reviews that I've started, and only close to finishing 2. I don't want to kind of get the first 10 done and release them, or at least upload them all at the same time. Oh, it always does this time of year. Yeah, weather like that. Pissing down all morning. And now it gets hot. Yeah, this track Fox Hill. It is a moderate track. It's only steep in certain parts, but it's kind of like a moderate slope that just maintains its inclination. Now, a lot of people go to the gym for this type of thing, for their cardio workout, but I don't know. I don't like treadmills. Something about being out in the trees, it's better for you. Being locked in a box with everyone else's sweat. So yeah, what do you all think about this more vloggy style content? I'm just going to keep rambling if I keep recording, unfortunately. So yeah, let me know in the comments, guys. I want to hear from you. Are there any mental health books that I should cover? Is there any people I should interview? I'm unsure yet about the logistics of how that's actually really going to work, but I want to just start it. The best thing to do is just start something. Otherwise, you spend your life thinking about it and it'll never happen. And I'm not much a person for regrets. I don't know about you. So yeah, thanks for watching. This has been Fox Hill. You've been listening to me ramble for about, I don't know how long it is now. Thanks if you made it this far. You're awesome.
Distance 3 kilometers. Time 49 minutes 36 seconds.
Yeah, like and subscribe for more of the same type of content. I'm going to be trying to diversify that as soon as possible. Yeah, to all the subscribers, thanks thus far, and I want to hear more from you. What are your guys' stories? Why are you hiking? Are you doing it to fix yourself? Are you just doing it for fitness? Where are you doing it? I need more trails. So yeah. As always, take care of yourselves. Go outside. Get better. Be awesome. Have a great day, everyone. Catch you later.